What's that? I'm sorry.
Why don't you chair this meeting?
Okay, the only problem is I don't have the agenda in front of me. So
Maybe Rose can help you with that to tell you what comes up next.
Yeah, I'll share.
Okay.
Hold on a second while we get this. We're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order, Chair, Co-Chair.
okay, great. Okay, so this is the Indigenous Commission meeting, the formal commission meeting that we're going to have today, and we will officially call the meeting to order at 11:08 a.m. And the second item, I'm sorry.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
And the second item on the agenda is the roll call.
And I can help you with that.
Okay.
Commissioner Cuddy-Eye? Commissioner Gish, you said she'll be late coming in. Commissioner Kabodi Adekai? Co-Chair Phillips?
I'm here.
Co-Chair Joe, Co-Chair Washington, sorry.
Here.
Commissioner Marks? Commissioner Toya?
Commissioner Toya present.
Commissioner Weathersby?
Present.
Commissioner Whitehat? Commissioner Yellow Hair? All right, back to you, Co-Chair.
Okay, thank you. So the next item on the agenda is the land acknowledgement. This is a precious way to honor the ancestors who have taken care of this continent, which we now call North America. So who does the land acknowledgement?
You can do that, or you can assign it to somebody.
Okay, Commissioner Toya, can you please do the land acknowledgement?
I would be honored to read the land acknowledgement on this day, March 2nd. The Flagstaff City Council humbly acknowledges the ancestral, I'm admitting Daryl, sorry, the ancestral homelands of these areas, Indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by Native descendants, border mountains sacred to Indigenous peoples. We honor them, their legacies, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home. Asquale.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Toya. So just moving right along on the agenda. The next we have is public comment. Are there any, or actually anybody that's willing to make a comment at this point in time? Do we read that also, or?
No, the only thing you can note is that if anybody is going to make a comment, they have 5 minutes to do so. And then also, since it's not on the agenda, the commission cannot speak to it.
Okay. All right, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's, let's see here. You can also maybe acknowledge, if you want to, the guests that are invited or other guests that are in the session. So I'll go ahead and take this time to see if Annie Tissy can introduce herself. She's one of the people listening in. Annie? We can't hear you. It looks like you're unmuted, but. She's probably logging back in. Okay. We can get back to her when she logs back in.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so are we gonna wait or just move along?
Go ahead. We can give her some time once, maybe later on when we're doing introductions.
Okay, good enough. Thank you. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for January 5th, 2022. So that was the last time we met.
So I make a motion to approve the minutes for January 5th, 2022.
This is Joe Washington. I second.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second on the floor. And we take a vote on this, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstentions? All right, so the motion carries. Thank you. Next we have, it looks like the same approval of minutes. So, okay, so who's going to read the minutes?
So I can make a motion to approve the minutes from February 2nd, 2022.
Joe Washington, I'll second.
Okay, so we take another vote.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've last done this, so if you can just bear with me. Okay, can we have the ayes?
All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? So I'm not sure how many voted for
There's no abstentions or nays, so it passed.
okay. All right.
And
Okay.
then, let's see. So both of those are done. I just also want to make note that Commissioner White Hat is in the room, and also Commissioner Marks has joined the meeting. Thank you and welcome.
Welcome all. Good
Thank
morning.
you. Yes. Welcome to the meeting. Okay, so we don't do the reading of the minutes?
No, you get it ahead of time so that you can
Okay.
review it. And then all you do during the meeting is see if you need any corrections done. And then vote on that to see under here, it says, hold on a second. So the time that you have in the meeting is to approve minutes or approve with amendments. So
Okay.
that's what it is.
All right. So we're going to move right along on the agenda, right, at this point?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So next item is general business and possible vote. And this is where we do the introduction of the new and current commissioners that have been appointed. So the new commissioners that we have are Daryl Marks, and then the reappointed is Commissioner Fontoya. Fawn,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Toya, I'm sorry.
No worries. Yes,
Did-
Commissioner Phillips.
Yes, so did you have a question or?
No, I was just waving that it's me right here. Like,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
She's doing
Okay.
her Miss America wave. So Commissioner Toya, can you go ahead and introduce yourself, followed by Commissioner Marks? And then the rest of the current who are present will make their introductions to the two of you.
Yes, I can. I'd like to take this time to say that I am honored to be here as I was appointed commissioner prior to this year. And based on our work within the commission, my term was ending, and therefore I truly thought about all our work that has come together, and just reading the land acknowledgement is a big part of it. So I juggle alongside with my work, with being involved in another group, how important this commission is to me. So I reapplied um, with the, I'll be honest, with a lot of support from the city. And I didn't know I had so much support from the city. So with that, I took it upon myself to see this path that I once wanted to be a part of, which was stemming from the ICF group. Being a member, being Hopi, being a voice, being there for balance. This community was also wanting that balance, and it was honestly something for me. So I want to say that I want to sit here and continue this good path with my relatives, which are the Dene people and others of this surrounding beautiful site, which is Navatukyowe to me. And I know we all have our special names, but this really hits home right now. Everything is so sacred. A lot of change is happening. And I think we just all need to grasp our spiritual selves and come together and continue this path. And I ask that, the Creator bless each and every one of us and give us the wisdom, the strength that we need to continue this. And I ask gracefully for the city of Flagstaff to bless this commission. Thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner Toya. That was a heartfelt message, and that's the kind of spirit and energy that is needed to carry on the work of the Indigenous people here in the city of Flagstaff, and all the way out to a national scale. So thank you very much. Commissioner Marks. Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, yeah, thank you. She nas ejtabaro na kaida na paschi kitla chini da she ado she dashanala tonally then a shado kwa and sana dashalan. Again, I'm appreciative of the opportunity to continue to be at service to the communities. The Indigenous communities are very near and dear to me, and it's something that I choose to dedicate my time and life to. So if there's more that I can be doing, I choose to do that. And that's what brings me to not only have applied, but wish to be at service in this area right here with as a commissioner. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Marks, and and also thank you for your leadership, as well as Commissioner Toya. Your leadership is out there at the forefront. So thank you for your wisdom and again, your leadership. So thank you. Next item on the agenda is nominations for commission co-chairs.
Co-chair?
Yes.
Can you have the rest of the commissioners introduce themselves too for the benefit, mostly for Daryl?
Okay. Yes. Thank you for bringing up
Mm.
that item. So yes, by all means, yes. Whoever.
Go ahead and call on people as you see their names. If you want, do you want me to help you with that?
Yeah, I don't have the names right in front of me as well.
Okay, I'll help you with that. Co-chair Washington, would you go first?
Certainly. I'm Joe Washington, and I have lived in the city of Flagstaff for 45 years, and have been in a lot of positions with the city of Flagstaff. I've been a city judge. I've been a member of the Flagstaff City Council, and was at one time the executive director of Native Americans for Community Action, and so I'm currently in. My father was Choctaw and my mother was Shawnee, and so they were different tribes. And in introducing clans, my wife is Navajo, so in introducing clans, if I were going to introduce myself by clans, it's kind of hard. The interesting thing is that the Shawnee are a patrilineal tribe, like the Havasupai, and but the Choctaws are matrilineal. And so I would say, if I would ask my mother, what is my clan? And she would probably say, look to your dad. And if I asked my dad, what is my clan? He'd probably say, look to your mother, because their traditions are matrilineal and patrilineal. But I do, my mother's clan was the Horse Clan. And I kind of just go with the matrilineal kind of thing. So I think I'm a horse. Well, I would say that I'm a Horse Clan from the Southern Plains tribes, and so on. So that's about it, I think.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Washington.
Commissioner Weathersby, would you go next, please?
Yad she technizan initially, Adona Hitley, Chickasaw Chata, Mississippi, and the Kaigi, Bushichin, Tutchini, Deshache, Adona Hitley, Cherokee, Louisiana, in the Kaigi, Deshanella, Kier Weathersby, she Aiken Planet Nasha, Shema A. Chinese Weathersby, will yet twin a stage of decat, Ado, Shije, Carl Weathersby, will yet, and its aunt Mississippi decat, in its aunt, Shema Sunny, Sally Spencer, will yeah. Became decat Ado Shiche A Mark Spencer will yant its aunt twin stage decat in its aunt she ate be his go na de na kiko just casco kintlane shit this she ate the never saw bihosh so I'm Kiara Weathersby, and I am born and raised here in Flagstaff. My great-grandparents are the Littlemans. I work at Northern Arizona University as a manager of student development. And my father's people came here from Mississippi in 1961. And yes, I really value and appreciate being here on the commission with all of you, and looking forward to the continued work and support on behalf of the people and the land. And so welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's always an honor to hear our young ones relearning the language. So that's an inspiration. So keep it up. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Commissioner Whitehat, would you go next, please? Commissioner Whitehat?
Okay, just checking in. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry, I'm calling in on I'm listening in on my phone right now. My name is Shauna Whitehat. Welcome to the commissioners joining us this year. I have lived in Flagstaff since 2008, and I've also worked at NAU since 2008. I am Kia'ani, and Ashian Bashishchin, Kinsachitni, Vizislana Dashache, and Torij Eatni Dashanella. I am from Coppermine, Arizona, so north of Tuba City and near Page and Kaibato. And my dad is originally from Navajo Mountain. I have been absent at a couple of our meetings, so I apologize, but I'm happy to be back and to be hearing all of your voices again. It was good to hear you, Fawn, again with your introduction and your words. You're such a good speaker. And yeah, I'm just happy to be joining you all again and to hear your voices, and I look forward to working with our two commissioners again. And I work at NAU with Upward Bound Math and Science, so I work with high school students who are who come from low income households and or are first generation possible college students. So I've worked a lot with high school as well as college students at NAU. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And
Thank
then
Thank
we're going to
you.
go to our guest, Annie Tissy. And then we'll end with you, Commissioner, or Co-Chair Phillips. You can introduce yourself then. Well, actually, it'll probably end. I'll go Annie and then myself and then back to you, Co-Chair, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Sorry about earlier. I went to move my computer and my docking station, it detached from it. My name is Annie. My name is Annie Marie TC. I work here for the city of Flagstaff. I am the city clerk specialist here at the city hall, and I do help and coordinate with our Tuesday night council meetings. If I'm going to introduce myself in Navajo. I'm Bipatwotni Nishle, Ashihe Bashishchin. Sorry. Skachitni Dashanele, or Dasha. Sorry, let me start over again. I'm a little nervous today. Bibitwotni Nishle, Ashihe Bashishchin, Kinsachitni Dashache, Azislana Dashanele. I am from the Apikin area, which is the Inscription House area and Shanto area. I lived here in Flagstaff for at least about 10 years. And I just recently joined the city of Flagstaff, and I've got to know Rose in the time that I've been here. And I was just a bit curious about the Indigenous Commission that she's a part of. And it's just really nice to see how many people are involved with this Indigenous Commission. And to see what's going on with the people who live here in Flagstaff. And yeah, I just wanted to hop on and see, how this commission was, and, just to see what new updates are happening here in Flagstaff. But I appreciate your time, and I appreciate, the invite from Rose. to be a part of this meeting and to get to know all of you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Annie. And likewise, you know, from the outside, we always wonder if there's any Indigenous people that work within the city government besides Rose. So yes, I'm so glad that you came on and introduced yourself. And my clan is Bimpatoni, so we need to go have lunch
Oh.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice to hear. It's so rare to hear the Beepatotney clan. I know there's a story that goes along with, you know, the sisters who came from the Beepatotney clan. But thank you, and that just made my day to have another person who has the same clan as me.
That's great.
Yeah, and you know, I just started here in November, and since I started here in November, Rose has been very welcoming.
Mm,
We're actually neighbors, so her office is just next to mine.
okay.
So it's just wonderful to hear that there is an Indigenous Commission, and you know, I think if the public would hear more about the commission, you know, I think they would, you know, benefit on a lot of the information that you guys are giving and presenting on today. And I know it's hard because a lot of our, you know, generation don't really speak, you know, their language. And you know, it's good to hear from, you know, the commission, hearing them speak of their language, you know, that's very, you know, nice to hear. But thank you again.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Oh, and then I'll go ahead and introduce myself for Fawn and Daryl's and Annie's benefit. Um, hold on a second. Let me admit. I guess Sean somehow dropped here. Oh, yat she yahai trachini no da einschlindo can la chini bashishin. Ashkan zoida shinaldo ashin da shiche. Yahai dine asanin shla. I guess in Ashade yahai this cheat and a hodianly Cove, Red Valley, Arizona there. Aro Shiprock, Tapata. Ade I can see in Stratton there. So I'm originally from the Four Corners area. My mom's land is up near Carrizo Mountain, and that's in Cove, Red Valley area, just inside the state line of Arizona. But I grew up mostly in Shiprock for school purposes because there were no schools near where my mom lives. So I basically moved when I started attending school. I was only visiting and seeing my mom on some weekends, on during holidays. So it was a lot to be away from mom. Some of that time I did spend in boarding school, and I didn't like it because of the harshness of things there. So my mom took me out of there, and luckily I was able to be placed with my older sisters who were living in Shiprock and had started working there. And so I was placed with them. But then I became a live-in babysitter for their children. So I always say I never had a childhood because I was always raising kids. But I'm really happy that I took a lot out of that because I was able to be, I think, a really good mom to my own sons. And I raised my husband and I moved to Flagstaff in 1977 during my high school years and graduated from Flagstaff. I met my husband, and we raised 3 sons here in Flagstaff. Went to NAU, well, went to the U of A for a little bit, and then went to NAU, graduated from there with my bachelor's and master's degree. But we've been here since Flagstaff. We live out in Donny Park right now. But I am so really happy in the recent recent years to be part of Indigenous Circle of Flagstaff, because I think that this group has really moved a lot of the concerns of the Indigenous communities forward in a much broader sense. Even though we're a few, you know, we're like the core group is not that many, but the voices that have been put forward have been so substantial, and my job was born out of that movement. And I'm thankful that I'm able to be still a part. And I really appreciate the support that I get here at the city. I think that in all my years, I think this is one of the places that I get the most support. And
Wow.
and you know, and support from as well from my Indigenous people. So I really feel fortunate and blessed and to be a part of this whole new area of growth for our people. So
Yes.
yeah, and thank you for coming, Annie. Would it be okay if I share with the people what you're gonna be leaving pretty soon this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. Annie, her daughter is gonna have her canal done this weekend starting tomorrow, and she is so excited, and we just, you know, we really appreciate those things that our young people gravitate towards with the ceremony and the songs. And so I just want to give her our blessings, our thoughts and our prayers will be with her and her family as she goes back home to do what she needs to do for her daughter. Yeah.
Thank you,
Right.
Rose.
Yeah.
Wishing you and your family a successful doing for the weekend with good hearts and prayers for you, your family, and everyone involved. Bosning will be careful. Yeah. Da.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck with everything, Annie. All right. So is that all the introductions, Rose?
Yes, except for you. You just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, today, uh, Rose has been touched our lives in a special way, and you know, she has been just absolutely wonderful. Just wanted to point that out as well. Sherry Cora Max Phillips, the Shijanido, Bipetodni, the Enshnido, Nashtaja, Trapan Habashichin, Tedish Yijni A, the Shichedo, the Chilit in the Twitch Eatni, A, the Shinale. I could out a astonishly. My late mother was out from the Loop area, and my late father was out from the Shanto area. And back in the 1960s, they migrated to Tuba City, and that's where we were raised. And so both of my parents did not uh, go to school, but however, they. I've always said that, my late uncles and my parents, although they never went to school, they had the minds of PhD philosophers. So I have managed to not only observe but garnered a lot of their knowledge base, and so that's who I am. As a matter of fact, my son's got a brilliant scientific mind, and so we're trying to work on bridging the gaps between the ancient wisdom and then and then the westernized perspectives, to see where the corroboration could take place, and so that's something that we're working on. And so I attended all three state universities, and since then, I've also worked under three Navajo Nation presidents, and serving as the division director for health, division director for social services, and then just serving as the executive staff assistant to the president, where I worked on numerous issues, which took me to Washington, D.C. at least 30 times a year, for advocacy and so forth. So I did a lot of that work. And so today I thought I would take it easy, but oh man, my work has just broadened even more. So I do some work with U of A, the American Indian Research Center for Public Health, and then with NAU, the Native American Cancer Prevention. So, and then also, I'm doing a lot of humanitarian work that I don't get paid for with the veterans, with nursing homes, the Medicine Men Association. I'm also on the state committee of the Arizona Democratic Party. I can't even remember all of them, but I work with 9 different organizations currently, and so I think that qualifies me to say that I am a humanitarian worker. So anyway, in a sense, that's who I am, and through the work that I do, I get wiser by the day, and so I'm happy. I'm happy to continue the work, on behalf of indigenous nations. But I also wanted to say that uh, I'm also a member of the Poor People's Campaign. So they've been out there with Oak Flats, and so anyway, they're going to be that they're trying to start up something here in the city of Flagstaff. So anybody who's interested, you're more than welcome to join. But there's an estimated 40 million poor people here within the United States, and from what I understand, 40% they actually go out and they vote. So anyway, in a sense, that's who I am, and again, I'm also very happy and privileged to serve on this commission, because I also served on the Arizona American Indian Commission on Indian Affairs, something like that. So anyway, yeah. So so thank you for the introductions, and so I guess we're gonna move along.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're down to the nominations for commission of the co-chairs. And I just want to point out that co-chair Joe Washington has done a phenomenal, outstanding job, and it was an honor and a privilege to have served with him as the co-chair. And so thank you. Co-chair Washington, and if you're renominated, you cannot say no. So I'm just kidding. So anyway, yeah, I guess the floor is open then now. I want to say, is it appropriate to open up the nominations now, or how does this work?
Yes, you can just open up the discussion for nominations and go from there and see if we can come to a vote at the end of that discussion.
Okay, so the floor is officially open now for nominations. Anybody?
So right now I'm just showing you, can you still see? I think you can. Who runs the meeting, and then how that is determined. So just you can you read that if you want, but it's just there for your reading. Are you okay? Can you see it? The wording? Do you want it to be bigger? Okay.
Yeah, if you can make it just a tad bit bigger, that would be helpful. So should we go ahead and read it so they can get an idea of what the duties are?
Yeah, we could go ahead and do that.
Okay. Uh, uh, um, Daryl, can you help us read what's
I,
on the
I can do
screen?
that. I can do this.
Okay.
Okay, the chair is the presiding officer in all commission proceedings. So in this case, you, the commission, decided to have co-chairs instead of a presiding officer, one person, or vice chair. So during the absence, the other co-chair will act as chair. If neither the chair nor vice chair can attend the meeting, there is no formal order of who would take over, and the members in attendance can choose a presiding officer for the meeting. Co-chairs normally serve for a predetermined period of predetermined period of time. For example, 1 or 2 years. Commissions elect their own chairs or vice chairs by having a member make a motion to select another member as a chair. If seconded by another member, the nomination is voted on by the commission. This process can be repeated for the vice chair position when it comes time to elect the leadership. The nomination process must be an agenda item, which this is. So so you can think about it, and if you are both willing, to be considered again, then that's also an option. So if you are not, then it's probably best to state that so that this discussion can move forward.
This is Joe Washington. I'm open to either. I'm certainly willing to be reappointed as a co-chair, and I'm also willing to pass the baton to someone else if someone else is interested in it. Either way, I'm comfortable with continuing or passing it on to another person. I like the idea that we have had a male and female co-chair. I think that that creates balance and so on. So I think I would hope that we would do that again.
Yeah.
Commissioner Washington, thank you for making that statement from the Human Rights Commission. I always make it a point to advocate for females because, we live in a misogynistic society, male dominated. And whenever I see that, I always have to make a stand and say, appoint a female in there. And so I will follow your lead, co-chair Washington, that I'm willing to go either way as well. So just wanted to point that out also. Thank you very much. So any nominations at this point in time?
So let me just fill in Dorothy. She just joined us. We're doing nominations for co-chairs and chair right now. If you have a nomination, the floor is open at this time to nominate any individual. Otherwise, Joe, Commissioner Washington, and Commissioner Phillips have presented to us that they are more than willing to continue their appointment. So with that being said, the floor at this time is open.
I want to make a recommendation to the commissioners that are able to vote that Joe and Cora continue to co-chair the commission. That's my recommendation to the ones that are able to make the recommendation.
So at this time, I'd like to make a motion that um, Commissioner Washington remain in his appointment. Can I have someone second the motion?
Maybe a second to that motion?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in,
Aye.
any nays, nay?
Yeah, any nays or any abstentions? If not, then the motion carries.
Thank you, Esqueli. I'd like to also make a motion that Commissioner Phillips continue her appointment with the Indigenous Commission. Can I get a second on that?
I second.
This is Commissioner Weathersby. I second the motion.
Okay. All right, so.
All in
I believe-
favor?
Yeah.
All in
Aye.
favor? Say aye.
Aye.
No nays at this time?
And no
No,
abstentions?
no abstentions. Thank you, Esqueli.
All right, so the motion carries. So Commissioner Washington, do you accept? I mean, you've already made your statement, so I guess just as a formality, you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and I as well will accept the nomination, and thank you very much.
I just have a clarifying question. On the first one for co-chair, the first one you made, can you, who seconded it for you?
Cora
So,
did.
I
yes.
did,
Cora? Okay.
yes.
And then the second one was,
I seconded.
Yeah.
Joe Washington.
okay. Just wanted to make sure that I got it right.
Well, I think
Okay.
I think Commissioner Weathersby also. We both did, but I think
Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Weathersby also seconded.
And there.
All right, so there's no nays, so it passed with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voting members.
Thank you, Commissioner Washington and Commissioner Phillips, for your time with serving on this commission for our people. It's very much greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, hold on a second. Okay, next item, whoops.
Okay, so the next item.
Can you see it?
Discussion items on possible votes. A, it's roster on attendance and absences. It says the roster will be shared and put forward for discussion. Any
Okay.
updates if needed as well?
Let me grab my, hold on a second. Hold on, I'm getting there.
You're fine. You're fine. It's a water, coffee, drink break.
All right. So this is what I've gathered from the minutes. And I just want to make sure that I have it right. And I usually I put absent for if I don't get a call or an email or some sort of message that says that a person is going to be absent. And then if I get a call, then I put it as an excused absence, which is the EA. And then regular absence is A. And then all those that are present, I put P's. And then with the asterisk right here, that means that that person has logged in after the meeting convened or needed to leave early. So that's what that means. So if you want to just take a look at this, and if I need to make any corrections, that will be great. I also just want to let people know. Do you see this? Oh, never mind. Hold on a second. There's another. So just take a look at that while I look for something else here.
Can you kind of enlarge it a little, Rose?
Better?
Well, that looks like we're almost about all equal in our commitment, just by running through it, with all of us having some kind of excuse, and I think that looks pretty good to me, Rose. Good job.
Okay. So normally hold on a second. I gotta look at something else here. Here it is. Is the agenda popping back up?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So good. All right. So what I wanted to share was, if you feel like this one that you were looking at is correct, then I wanted just to make sure that you know this. According to the board and commission manual, let me read this to you, and just to refresh your memories. Under attendance, U.S. commissioners are expected to attend all regularly scheduled meetings. If you know you will not be able to attend a meeting, please let your staff liaison know as soon as possible. That is me. The sooner the liaison knows that a quorum will not be present, the sooner the meeting will be canceled and rescheduled. Having all members in attendance at a meeting rather than a minimum quorum is always preferred. You are appointed because of your experience, background, and/or perspective in a particular policy area, and those factors are vital to the commission making a well-reasoned and informed decision. Having more members in attendance generates a healthy discussion because of the diversity of thoughts and opinions among the members. Although a meeting can be held if a quorum is present, there is greater possibility of a meeting being canceled at the last minute because of lack of attendance. Members declaring a conflict of interest or members having to leave early. This can delay the commission's work. Is disappointing to the members and the staff who did attend, and sends a negative message to any members of the public who may have wished to speak and believe their time was wasted. As a general rule, a commission may recommend to the city council the dismissal of any member who is absent for more than 2 consecutive regular meetings without prior notification. This same rule applies if a member is absent for more than 30% of all meetings during a 12-month period. So I just wanted to let you know about that attendance, because I know that we get asked about things like that. And I just want to make sure that you guys are protected in the work that we do, as you know, as this commission goes forward. So that's that. And so the rest, let's see here. Why is this thing up here? Okay. So that's what I have regarding that. And I just wanted to let you know where you all stand, if I'm correct in doing the things that I need to do to keep the city leadership as well as city council know of your presence and your absences. So just wanted to bring that up for all of you to, I don't know if you want to discuss, or if you want to just make sure that everybody is on the same page regarding this this part.
Thank you, Rose. I appreciate this because it allows me to better plan my next tenure of commission here with the city, and make it very, very important that I attend all these meetings, as I know we are in a strong, uh, I guess, midst of a lot of strong projects, I want to say. So, yes, thank you, Rose.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Rose. It's one thing to look at it in black and white, but then it's also another thing to look at it visually. So to capture and enhance the understanding of why this commission was necessary. We worked hard to establish this commission, and now for the people that have been appointed, the commissioners, it's very important that you set forth, you know, your dedication and commitment, because every now and then crucial issues do come to surface. And then I'm pretty sure too that from the outside, the city residents, they're also looking at what is this new commission all about. And so it's very important that um, we not only inhibit, but to fully incorporate the standards of excellency as to what we would like to see this commission, not only from the Indigenous community, but for the whole city of Flagstaff. And I think it's important to remember that, you know, every time there's a commission meeting, to set aside time so that we can fully engage and talk about these issues as they arise. Just like, for example, you know, I had something scheduled, but, you know, I had to kind of shuffle things around so I could be at this meeting. So again, you know, I look at all the commissioners as visionary leaders, and your willingness to serve on this commission right from the get-go. And that says a lot about who you are and your character. So thank you very much. You know, and as Commissioner Toya pointed out, and then Rose also, she pointed it out that, you know, there's not very many absences that were not properly excused. So again, I just wanted to point that out to letting you know again, you know, how how we would like to see this commission be perceived now and into the future. So thank you for your willingness to be a part of this. And I, at this point, do we go ahead and move on to the next agenda item?
Yes, since there's no
Okay.
corrections needed, or I didn't, have anybody say that there needs to be any corrections, then we'll go ahead and move to the next one. I'll just note that everything that I have on this roster appears as correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the next item is to revisit the work on the vision and mission statements.
Okay, let me share that one too. So this is the last time that we worked on it, was back in August. Can you see okay? I think that's as far as I can go in making it bigger. Okay. So the last time we worked on this was August 2021. And the vision statement that at that time, the one that the commissioners came up with was: the community of Flagstaff is knowledgeable and inclusive of Indigenous values and cultural beliefs and provides equitable leadership. So I don't know if you want to expand on that, but this is kind of going to be like a working part where at least to start how do we want to go forward in that. And this is where there should be discussion of the commissioners. How would you like to take this process? Is there an interest to allocate, the 10 minutes at each regular meeting to complete the process as originally thought? Or do you want to work on it right now since we have the time? And or even does the commission still want to pursue this topic, and how would the commission want to proceed in the new year with these two topics? Is there time and interest for the meeting right now? So that's where that is, just to get it back on the front burner for a little while at today's meeting. Oh, before we kind of dive into that, also see that Councilman Shimoni is here. Do you want to say something, council member?
Thank you, Rose, and hi, Chair Phillips and Chair Washington and everybody. It's good to be with you. And welcome to our new members. Daryl, thank you for your service and for joining this commission. I don't have a whole lot to add at the moment in regards to your conversation, but look forward to hearing the discussion. And if any questions come up, I'd be happy to engage. But just wanted to say hi and glad to be with you all. Rose, was there anything specifically you wanted me to comment to?
No, I don't. I just wanted to introduce you and let people know you're here watching and listening and taking notes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, listening very intently and really appreciate your service to the city through this commission. Your work is extremely important to the council, and I'm very excited to see this build as we continue. And I really appreciate all of you and your leadership. It's very important work. While I have the mic, I'll just say, just want to give a shout out to the Lady Eagles team that competed recently at the state level. I'm not sure if that was discussed earlier in the meeting, but got to witness a couple of their games, and they did an incredible job making our community proud, and got to spend some really quality time with President Nez, and I haven't had that opportunity yet, so that was really exciting for me to get to know him better and talk to him and just cheer on our team together, and just reminded me that we're part of our tribal nations. Flagstaff is an extension. I was joking with them, telling them that Flagstaff was the middle, like where Phoenix and the tribal nations above clash. It's almost like we meet in the middle in Flagstaff, and we're this great melting pot and also this beautiful place with this great diversity that we have. So it just gave me a newfound appreciation talking to him about Flagstaff and witnessing his support of our Lady Eagles team and all those that traveled to witness and support that team at the last couple games. So thank you for letting me share that with you all. It was a really powerful experience and one that I'll forever remember. And yeah, I'm here. And if anything comes up that you want me to weigh in, I'm happy to. But
actually, Council Member, can you go ahead and introduce yourself for the benefit of the whole the commission again, as to what it is that you have passion for and compassion for and all those good things. And then also we sort of just a teaching moment. We as Indigenous people move away from the melting pot. It's kind of an equal to losing our identity and our culture, and so we really don't use that as much or as at all.
Yeah, no, thank you, Rose. Keep going. Is there anything else? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Introduce who you are.
How much time do I have?
You have a lot of time.
As I think many of you know, I can talk for a long time. And thank you for taking that moment to educate me. And please always feel comfortable to do so, folks. I'm always learning and welcome criticism and opportunities for education. It makes us better and it makes me better. So I really appreciate that. Thank you, Rose. I'm Adam Shimoni. I've been on the council for 3 years now. I've been very active in Flagstaff for quite a while now, organizing. I think I know most of you at this point, but serving my 4th year on council. I was the vice mayor for the first 2 years. And in my 4th year, I'm not rerunning at the moment. I've chosen to take a break. I'm exhausted. It's exhausting work, as you all know, and there's a lot of work to do in overcoming all the different systemic issues that exist and just the issues that we face. And I'm looking forward to a break, but I'm hoping to definitely stay involved and maybe even come back to this work at a later date. But in this last year, I want to continue and see things through that I've begun. And so things that are really of passion and of interest to me is representation and diversity in our government, in our leadership, in our position. I think that Rose has done an incredible job with this as well, and I'm so grateful for her service to the city and to our community and getting us on a better track. But we have so much work to go and to do. Alternate response is a really important topic to me that I think a lot of you know about, and I've worked with some of you on in regards to alternate policing efforts and better serving the needs of our unsheltered relatives and just population at large, rather than just always sending an officer. So very proud that our mobile team is going live, I think in like a month or even less potentially. It's happening soon. It's really exciting. But you better believe there's going to be work to be done along the way and things to improve upon as that unrolls. And then housing is a huge topic of interest to me. And then obviously the flooding and flood mitigation is a major topic of interest to the city right now and to myself as well. Along with engineering and just kind of, I've dived into engineering and found a passion for really looking at our design standards and our underlining values that guide our engineering designing process in our team. You know, often we're solely building for the car when we really should be thinking about moving people. You know, I always ask the team, are we moving cars or are we moving people? Because often the lens is moving cars. And I'm trying to expand that consciousness to moving people in a dealing with congestion and whatnot. Youth empowerment is a real important topic to me, and engaging younger people and just making government more accessible and transparent. You know, this is not a spectator sport, and it's really a privilege to be involved and also to not be involved, because government impacts our lives regardless of if you're involved in or not. But we all need to step up and do our part to lead and be involved. So proud of our commissions and this commission, and really looking forward to going hard the next 10 months of my term and finishing strong. So do reach out to me. I'm very accessible and love to hear your thoughts on what I can help champion with you as an individual, as a commission. And I really hope to do my best to channel this work and the work that you are doing here at the commission level to the council level. But we'll definitely need your help in that process as well. Hopefully that's a decent introduction. I'm sure there's a lot more I could talk about, but I can leave it at that. And thank you for letting me introduce myself.
Yeah, Councilman Shimoni, thank you very much for that introduction. And oh shucks, I was hoping that you were going to run again and continue that leadership capacity. But you know, you have been a very good councilman, and you can't say that very much about you know other council members. But you have been exceptional. Let me point that out because you know it's truly something that is meaningful when you come into our meetings to listen in and to capture what we're trying to convey, you know, the messages that we have. So that says a lot about who you are. And so I wanted to say thank you for your time and coming to visit with us, you know, on a monthly basis. So, we only need to go back historically and where to versus today, you know, the time and effort that has been put into this, uh, not only the indigenous values and the culture and the leadership, you know, and that also says a lot about the city of Flagstaff. But it also took a special effort from the indigenous people, the leaders, you know, and we have come a long ways. And this Indigenous Commission, you know, bless her heart, you know, that the previous mayor, she really pushed us for us as well. So now we have, you know, from the outside and from the inside of the government. And so it's been a beautifully working model. And again, you know, just commending the indigenous leaders from within this community who have never given up on this cause. And so we're still pedaling along, and I hope to still see you around, you know. And again, I thank you for opening up that the invitation to still mingle with us. And even if you have an ounce of indigenous blood, come and join us on this commission.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
will.
so thank you. Yeah. All right, so where are we at now? So the vision and mission
Cora,
statement.
Cora,
Yes.
if I may, I also like to thank Councilman Shimoni for your efforts. And just like Cora said, you were one of the first council members that have actually mingled with different groups and have really advocated for the less fortunate within the city of Flagstaff. And I really, really thank you for your leadership. Yeah.
And remember, when you're going to run again for councilman, I'm willing to do another video for you.
Thank you. You know, and thank you, Dorothy. I really appreciate that. If I can just say really quick, you know, I've always felt like many voices were missing from the table at the local level and at the policy conversation, and that's still true today. It's so true, and I try to channel those voices the best I can, but I can only do so much in my ability, and we really need more diversity and you know, more voices at the table. So I'm really hoping that some of you on this commission will feel empowered through this experience to want to run, if you're able to, for council. And let me know when you do, because I'll be happy to help make videos, as Cora mentioned. But you know, we really need your leadership and your voices, and we have such a long way to go. You know, we've adopted that land acknowledgement that you all helped to craft, which I'm very proud of. But I tell the team, talk is cheap, right? It's easy to say. Let's embody those comments and that mission statement and that land acknowledgement, and really embrace those things in our actions and our hiring practices, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we have a long way to go, but I think with your help, we'll get there sooner. So again, thank you. And it's a real team effort, and it's been a real honor and a privilege to serve. And I have 10 months left, so I'm not saying goodbye yet. There's a lot of damage.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Yeah. So again, thank you, Dorothy, Commissioner Gishi, and thank you again, Councilman Shimoni. Okay, so I think there's a question on the floor whether it is 12:23, and I think we have approximately 7 minutes left.
We have it booked all the way to 1 o'clock. So.
Till 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So if we can get some direction on what to do with the mission and vision statements, that would be really helpful. That will help me plan. If we can work on it in the next at least 20 minutes, that would be great. If we can get some of this done, even better.
So this is Commissioner Toya, and I know we had met with the land acknowledgement, and I kind of liked how we did that, and we were able to make some edits as a group that came together. And then I also liked the best part of it, I think, was where we all took it home as homework and were able to have that time to ourselves to throw our own thoughts. And we compiled that, and that's how that land acknowledgement became, was after we did that. And that's just a nice thought that I think went very smooth, and I just wanted to share that on an opinion of mine for the group.
Okay, Commissioner Toya, thank you. Any other comments or wishes as to how you want to carry out and finish this this initiative?
Hi, this is Commissioner White Hat. I do have a comment and maybe a suggestion. I know we've already finished a discussion about the land acknowledgement, but I think across the country, maybe there are more institutions and organizations that are becoming aware of the movement to acknowledge all of the spaces across the US. So I just wanted to bring something to everybody's attention. I don't know that it would be helpful or change anybody's minds as we craft the vision and the mission, but I subscribe to a listserv that concentrates on rural high school students and encouraging them to go on to college. And somebody brought to my attention that there is a guide circulating within that circle about tribal place names. And I haven't gone through the document in detail myself, so I'm not too sure what information it shares. But apparently there is an organization called NAPTHA, or NATHPO. It's called Protecting Native Places. I just want to share that with all of you in case there's any interest in becoming aware ourselves of what the conversation is outside of Flagstaff and how I'm guessing other organizations can go through a similar process of maybe creating land acknowledgements and then having discussions around the, the names of streets and landmarks and other locations. I want to go ahead and just share that document. For myself, I really appreciated us being able to get together and have our retreat in crafting the mission and the vision. And I definitely need some context to sort of get back into that mindset so that to refresh my memory of all the conversations we were having. The document, all of the notes that you put together, Rose, are really helpful in remembering the different groups that we had, breakout groups that we had. And I only suggest this, but then I myself would not be able to be there in person because of health reasons. So I do also like Fawn's idea of maybe doing some work right now just to refresh all of our minds on the conversations and then to take something as homework and then maybe meeting up again to kind of finalize or have more discussions on what everybody thinks about the vision and the missions.
Okay, Commissioner Whitehat, thank you for those thoughtful comments. And as well as Commissioner Toya. So anybody else that wish to contribute to this initiative as to how you would like to finish it out? So I think we already have a beautiful document, but similar to what Commissioner Toya has brought out. I remember, taking it home and sleeping on it and finessing through what has been brought out and so forth. I think that was helpful because after all, these the land acknowledgement as well as the mission and vision statements, that will become a part of our doctrines that are being put forth. But that's not to say that the mission and vision statements, sometimes they go through an annual review to see if there's any changes that could be made also, depending on, which organization, which government you're with. That's what they do, take it in for an annual review on a periodic basis. So yeah, those are definitely good comments that are being made. And so anybody else at this point?
This is Joe Washington. Yeah, I would like to see us at a future meeting take one of the items. There's a vision statement and a mission statement. Maybe we could, well, the vision statement I think is almost there. I think it is in need of a little bit of word crafting, but I think it's there, and there's just one right there. We could take that up at some point. And the mission statement, there are several of those, and they will we will need to find out how to combine or discard certain items and so on, and to come up with the vision statement. But And also, if we're since we're doing this virtually, I don't know if I would like to see some kind of assistance with this, with a facilitator, but maybe staff can do that. But but I think it helps to have a facilitator to help us in these tasks, and so and then it would have to be a facilitator that's familiar with operating virtually. Um, and like in the actual the time when we took these up, we met in person and we broke into groups and so on like that. And I think that there's a process for coming up with the vision statement and mission statement, and we engaged in that process. And I think it'll have to be a different type of process for a virtual meeting. Um, but so my thought is to break it up, work on the vision statement in one meeting, work on the mission statement in another meeting, and if we could get some facilitation help, I think that would be good.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Washington. So I really like that idea of facilitation. And I don't, quite frankly, we did have a facilitator from the onset when we did this, if I remember correctly. So to complete it, maybe whoever that facilitator was, she could be brought back to kind of finish it out. So wordsmithing is always a necessity when you're trying to finalize these kinds of documents. So Rose, who was the last facilitator that helped us compile all this?
She was from Page. Her name was Miss Holiday. Her first name escapes me right now. But she has a full-time job, and she came down just to help us with the retreat at that time. She works for the county. And I know that she has more responsibilities now because there were certain changes that were that happened in the county. So I think she's got more of a bigger role in Page right now. But I can always reach out to her and see what her timeline is. But
yeah.
I just don't know if she'll come back 2 times more.
Right.
Someone's hand is up.
It's Commissioner Weathersby.
Okay.
Because this document, the original working conversations occurred in August, I do agree that it's important for us to revisit. Considering that we utilize Teams for our meetings, would it be possible that this be in an open document where we can collaborate together, right, and tracking changes so that we can each put our comments and suggestions in there, and then get to a way that we can possibly do a poll and select, out of those 5 mission statements, which ones we want to work on and build, considering the last 2 are very similar. But for that collaborative opportunity, and then I know with our new Commissioner Marks, allowing him to get familiarize himself with the work that we had at that time, to maybe we have that collaborative working opportunity before our next meeting in April. So then that way we can have a conversation, and that can be an agenda item to finalize, would be my suggestion.
Okay, Commissioner Weathersby, thank you for the suggestions.
I have a recommendation. Commissioner Weathersby indicated that the next meeting was going to be in April. I want to recommend that we do a work session, possibly in March, to go over this as a group. If Ms. Holliday isn't available, I mean, we have people here in Flagstaff that could possibly lead us in this process. Our relative from NAU, I forget her name.
Is that Aura Martinez?
Aura, yes, Aura.
Okay.
I mean, she's usually good in leading and work like this. So my recommendation to the voting members.
Just so you know, we're at the next one, next month in April is going to be a packed one because people have already asked to be on the agenda. So I don't know if you want to have me set up the share document so we can work on it, or you guys can work on it, and then come back in, let's say, May to finalize everything. That will give maybe some time to also, if you really do want a facilitator, then we can work, that'll be enough time to work on it, make sure that it fits within their schedule. I know city staff have always been able to say, they're willing to help as well. We have some people here within the city that have really been supportive and really helpful in a lot of different ways. And then the other option, I think, would be, I know this was brought forward by Commissioner Whitehat way back when, and I wanted to find out if she was comfortable in leading this conversation. That was the other option, and that way we can have like a central point from where to kind of go from. So when we get to number 7, I'll explain what the PACT agenda looks like. Thank you.
Okay.
This is Commissioner Weather. Oh,
Go ahead. Try to take off my jacket.
this is Commissioner Weathersby. One of the things, I co-chair the Commission for Native Americans at NAU, and one of the things that we are discussing right now is whether or not we are going to be modifying the land acknowledgement at NAU. And so the commission is working on that. And Dr. Orameric Martinez is an ex officio for the CNA. And so I am willing to reach out to her and see if it's possible to, if she could help facilitate on the 4th of May when we have that meeting. And so I just wanted to add that piece.
I think that would be great. I like that idea. So, Co-Chair Phillips, maybe we could schedule this for our May meeting and see if Aura could facilitate it and so on. And I see that Shauna Commissioner Whitehat has her hand up.
Yes, thank you. Really quickly. Personally, I feel like we should probably complete this with some sense of urgency. I really liked Commissioner Phillips' idea of maybe possibly making it a routine to revisit the mission and the statement every year. May is almost halfway through the year of 2022, and maybe we could guarantee that we would have everything approved by May, but that's also not a guarantee. So we could possibly go another month before finalizing the vision and the mission. And again, personally, I feel like this should be addressed with some urgency and be completed sooner rather than waiting until May. I know myself, I'm not personally busy, but outside of work and the other things that I do. So that's where I'm coming from. I don't know if everybody else's schedules, if that's not a possibility, but I think maybe bringing together the suggestions of Commissioner Weathersby and I believe also Commissioner Phillips about doing some work in the meantime, possibly a combination of, as Kiara suggested, having the document online so we could all work on it. Maybe we break into smaller groups and we schedule specific times that we can meet and then look at specific missions and then put work on those and then have a poll so that we have maybe more of a final draft or ready to vote on by the May meeting. That's just my suggestion or my feelings also.
Okay, Commissioner Whitehat, thank you for your recommendations. And I think, yes, I think a year has gone by, and so we're into the second year, starting in January. So I think that we need to stipulate like a time frame as to when this can be completed to notate Commissioner Weatherby's what she indicated earlier about the sense of urgency. So I think that, again, I'm trying to recall from the last work session that we had that was a good amount of hours that have gone into this. This is the prevailing document that stemmed from that last work session. So I think that, it's just a matter of not formalizing it, but finalizing it, at what stage we're at. Maybe we're like, I'm guessing, I'm thinking out loud when I say like maybe 75% completion rate, and you can kind of arrive at your own conclusion. But, I remember that, a good amount of time was spent on this with a good facilitator. So the wordsmithing and then just basically the finalization of what we would like to see in the final document. And again, there's going to always be room to bring it back and to do some more finessing in the areas where it's needed. So, so there's been several recommendations put forth. So I think that bringing Aura in would be an excellent recommendation, and she can help us to wrap it up. And I'm sure that, although I say a 75% completion rate, bringing in another facilitator would help us to notate some of the deficiencies in what has come together and putting more strength into these deficiencies or changing them altogether. So I think that that's also something else. But again, the wordsmithing, as Commissioner Washington has brought out, that's also a very important element to finishing out this document.
Co-Chair Phillips?
Yes.
This is Rose. I also think might be a room for a working subcommittee. If there are some people who really want to work on it sooner than later.
Oh yeah, that's also been put on the floor. Yes. By all means. I don't know what you think, Commissioner Washington, but I think that's another excellent idea, if they want to form subcommittees, their own little working groups, and I think that that's a viable option to undertake as well too. So then when we come back together, if there's new pieces, then it can all be incorporated into one final document.
Yes, I think that's an excellent idea. And I think that would help with moving it forward quickly if a subcommittee could be formed.
Okay, do we want to do this formally or informally, meaning that, we can like designate numbers or whatever to indicate, the subcommittees, or, I'm looking at Dorothy and Fawn, and, we can do a little working group at NACA, and whoever else wants to join, that's an option. So, so what does the other commissioners, what are their thoughts on this subcommittee and thought?
This is Commissioner Weathersby. I think that having a subcommittee is a great idea. I think that for Commissioner Gishi and Toya, and having that close proximity at NACA and being able to provide that, and then of course, if anyone else wants to join that subgroup, I personally, with what I have on my schedule, I wouldn't be able to, and I would appreciate kind of that support from the subcommittee to be able to finalize and prepare the document for us so that we can come together with a facilitator and have that kind of final conversation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So are there any other suggestions before we wrap up the meeting in about another 11 minutes?
So I would like to see volunteers for that subcommittee and then just proceed with that as well.
So I'm sharing the subcommittee information from the manual, and it says that the commission may appoint subcommittees and charge them with specific roles to do. And it looks like, let's see here. Maybe if you can just take a minute or so to read this, or do you want me to read it to you? Whoops.
Why don't you go ahead and read it, Rose?
Okay. A commission may appoint subcommittees and charge these bodies with their powers, duties, and responsibilities. Normally, a subcommittee is charged with a specific duty or role. The commission may refer matters to the subcommittees for the purpose of providing analysis and making recommendations to the commission. An example of a subcommittee is the Bicycle Advisory Committee, which has been established by the Transportation Commission to investigate, consider, and make recommendations to the Transportation Commission on items assigned to them by the Commission regarding their respective areas of interest. The Commission appoints and removes the members and chairs for each subcommittee. Subcommittees shall or should have a consistent body of members. The number of members should be set by the Commission, and a quorum would be a majority of the total membership, which includes any vacant seats. It is recommended that at least one member of the commission serve on the subcommittee. This member possibly could chair the subcommittee. Other commission members should refrain from attending and participating in subcommittees to avoid potential violation of open meeting laws, which is discussed in more detail. Commissions often use subcommittees as a way to involve individuals who want to serve on the commission, but cannot due to a lack of vacancies. Okay, so it kind of has some limitations. And then there's also informal working groups. Informal working groups may be created to research, gather information, and provide recommendation to the commission on various matters. No official appointments are made to a working group by the commission. Working groups may consist of members of the public and or less than a quorum of commission members. Unlike subcommittees, working groups are not required to have formal agendas or minutes. All information and recommendations from the work group must be provided and presented to the commission in an open meeting for public discussion. Informal working groups do not have any powers, duties, or responsibilities of the parent commission. No action statements or recommendations can be made or provided by the working group on behalf of the commission. So that sounds like a better one, the informal working group, which can consist of members of the commission so as not to have a quorum.
Yeah, thank you, Rose. I agree that, this is just a temporary structure, not to be prolonged. If it's prolonged, then we would be looking at the formal working group. But in this case, again, we're near at the tail end, and maybe one gathering or a couple of gatherings should suffice to come up with the final wordsmithing and so forth. And so, yeah, I think that the informal working group would serve us better at this point in time.
So can we have volunteers from the commission to be on this working group to work specifically on the vision and mission statements?
So yes, I want to work on this vision and mission statement. So I am available for that. Commissioner Toya speaking.
Okay, Commissioner Toya, thank you very much. Anybody else?
This is Commissioner Whitehat. I'd also like to volunteer, but also point out that I would not be able to be there in person again due to health reasons.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Whitehat, thank you for stepping forth. And any others that would like to volunteer? So again, this would be, I'm thinking out loud, just trying to shed further clarity on this, that it would be like a couple of working group sessions, and correct me if I'm wrong, and to put the final touches on it, because the main content, it's already there, unless we want to add in another factor or element. So if not, then it's putting on the final touches of this document.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Commissioner Gishi. I'm not able to assist. I may be able to lend a hand. Now and again, I'll be taking up an interim CEO position with NACUST within the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to be pretty busy with that from the beginning. So I don't want to commit and then not show up.
Okay.
So with that being said, Dorothy, are you able to allow us to use the building for some of these meetings?
That's been the case before. So I don't see what there would be any difference in that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I think if I'd really like to have Commissioner Whitehat be a part of it so that So if you can set up your Zoom sessions with her, Fawn, that would be
Yes.
awesome. And then if you, whenever your meetings are, if Dorothy can join, or someone who can, one of the commissioners wants to join, that would be great. As long as we can keep it virtual, that would be really awesome to everybody. The other thing is that we cannot have a quorum of the voting members at that meeting. So just make sure that that's adhered to.
Yeah, so the informal and working sessions, I believe it kind of saves us on that part, right, Rose?
No, even if it's informal, we can't have quorum.
So what would a quorum be?
A quorum would be 4 of the 7 voting members.
Okay. Well, I don't. So far, it's just me, so I don't think we'll run into that issue.
Okay, just sure, yeah.
All right. Yeah. No worries.
If you have any questions, just let me know. You can always reach out and say, "What am I doing this? Are these okay?"
For
So
sure.
just let me know who's responding to your meetings,
Okay.
to help you out. And then, so that will be great. So the informal working group will be Commissioner Toya and Commissioner White Hat, and possibly, when available, Commissioner Gishi.
I want to make a comment, and this stems to Commissioner Washington's previous comment earlier. And Rose, if you don't mind showing that the mission statements that were already provided earlier again.
Okay.
Okay.
Just to let you know, we have about maybe 2 minutes
Two
of the
minutes.
meeting left. Uh-huh.
Well, I was wondering if we could just have that first version available. It's pretty much duplicated, or are you guys just okay with that whole thing?
This is fine. I can send it
Okay.
to you,
Okay.
and you can work
All
from
right.
here.
That's fine. Thank you, Rose.
Mm-hmm.
So, my schedule fills up pretty fast. So I would like to also indicate that, similar to what Commissioner Gishi has brought out, if my availability is there during the time frame that's depicted, I will make an effort to join.
Awesome.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. I will keep that in mind, and should this, once we get organized and everything set up, I'll reach out to everyone and just invite everyone if they're able to.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I think we're at the tail end of our meeting. And so if there's nothing else, I think we need to adjourn.
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Okay, I'm sorry.
We have number 7, which is
Number 7.
informal items to and from commission member, staff, and future agenda item requests. So are there any requests, except I'm going to put down for May presentation of the vision and mission statements. Is that okay?
For May?
For May.
Oh, yeah, May. Yeah, that gives us time, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Commissioner White Hat?
I agree, but the invitation for other comments, I have my hand up for that.
Oh, okay. So that's one. And then other requests?
This is Commissioner Kabodi Adekai. I have one informal thing just to ask in a second whenever. Is it okay if I ask it now?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yes, by all means. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. So I just I had somebody reaching out to me from NAU. They're a researcher, and I think I shared like I know Rose at least got this email. I think I shared it with some ICF members, but she's a woman who is doing a research team, and they're looking at communication on wildfire safety, and they're trying to develop research right now. And they were just wanting input from as many groups as possible on, I guess, just um, figuring out like what specifically they're going to read. They're willing to pay people also if you want to like help give your input on forming this research. I'm just going to read the 3 questions really quick, and then maybe I can share this person's contact information if anybody's interested. So she just basically wants to know, what has your experience been with wildfire communications before, during, and after fires? For example, prepare, evacuation, flooding, insurance, disaster funds. 2 is, how could this communication be improved both for you and more broadly the Indigenous community in and around Flagstaff? And then question 3 is, what sources of information, people, websites, etc., do you / people you know trust the most, and / least for wildfire information? So anyway, if anybody knows anyone that would be interested in helping with this research or finding people to participate in it, that's the one thing that I have. And her name is Carrie Grimm at NAU, and I'll share the information with you all via email. Anyway, that's all. Thank you so much.
Oh, you can always also put it in the chat if you want.
Okay, awesome. I'll try to do that right now.
Commissioner Whitehat?
Thank you. So really quickly, yes. Something to put out there, and I think this is what Annie had also made a comment about, and maybe others had also acknowledged, that was making the public aware of the commission. And maybe this is a good time with our new appointees for the 2022 school year, I almost said, year, is possibly putting out not a newsletter, but an announcement either in local papers, maybe even the City of Flagstaff website, of our new appointees and of the commission. It seems like we will have a lot of work in the upcoming year, so it would be beneficial to inform the public so that we can encourage their input in the items that we have coming up for 2022. And then maybe this is a possible discussion item, but just bringing up maybe something in recent news going up. There's been, I don't know if anybody is aware, it's not really something that I follow, but a public figure who is popular in the podcast world, who has a lot of conversation going about the use of the N-word and other racial or racist, not sorry, other racist terminology that is used in, everyday public vernacular. And my concern comes when there's a big conversation about how we address these situations and these issues. And I know in Flagstaff, we have our own relatives who are in situations where, they are called racist names and stereotypes and things like that. And I myself have encountered, good willing people who have wanted to know what they do in those situations and how they help. So maybe, again, like this is maybe something for the mission, or this is a working item, but and maybe something even in the announcement is just reminding people that in those situations, especially when it, not especially, but even when it concerns Indigenous peoples in Flagstaff and in Northern Arizona, about allyship and remembering that you can stand up and say something in those situations. whenever a racist slur or a comment is being thrown out there as a popular opinion or something that's not hurtful to others. Just something to put out there in case you've all been aware of the conversation or not. Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you.
I think that's a wonderful suggestion. Thank you so much for that. Uh, you said allyship. There's a similar concept that is really being promoted. You know, the good relative concept, regardless of the skin of your color. So, yeah. So thank you very much for your thoughts on that.
And I think we had talked about that before, having a communication plan, and that is something that is going to be one of the topics that we'll be addressing. Okay,
Yeah.
are we done with the input on item 7? Then I can do what any other comments? Okay.
I'd like to make a comment, Rose. You know, with the issue, number one, climate change, you know, the droughts, and then the water usage situation. You know, as Indigenous people, you know, we have learned to conserve and preserve, and the natural elements and so forth, and water is one of them. So I've been very, very disturbed in terms of what I see in the lower Greenlaw area. They're still trying to water the grass, and I don't know how much water, you know, is consumed by watering the grass at every residence in this location. And I have brought it up to I can't remember the gentleman's name, but from the water department, from the city of Flagstaff. I have talked to if there's somebody by the name of Cook. He's an assistant to the mayor. I've talked with him as well, and so the governor of Arizona recently released a statement again on water conservation measures, and I think they will put out some sort of I want to say like authoritative measures from the governor's office to start cutting down on water by at least 35 to 40% because of the anticipated drought. Right now, through climate change, you know, there's either too much water or there's less water or too much water and so forth. But at some point in time, it will just come out to one, channel out to one, and that is drought. So I'm really surprised that, you know, the leadership here does not really, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it just seems that they're careless in that effort to preserve water. So come time in May, you know, they're going to start watering the grass again. And for the water that doesn't get to the grass, it just runs down the highway and onto the sidewalks and what have you. And so I think this is something that needs to really be looked into. And from what I hear, these homeowners association, they were given that authority by the state government. And so I challenge that gentleman from the mayor's office, you know, that maybe your city attorney needs to look into this, you know, to change those laws. And so because I think the green law, these townhomes, this is
Cora,
only, yeah.
Co-chair, we're really limited. I have to be somewhere else at 1:15.
Okay, yeah. So I
So-
was just finishing up. So basically that's it. So I think that this is something that we need to you know, bring to the mayor's attention at some point in time. So thank you.
Okay, so we'll put that on the agenda. And these are some good reasons why our Indigenous people need to be appointed to like Water Commission and those other commissions in the city. So those are some things that we can talk about. I mean, that you can encourage other Indigenous members, Indigenous community members to be a part of as well. So Commissioner Toya, were you going to say something? Make it really short.
Yeah, real quick. I think now is the perfect timing for this to be brought up. I want to strongly engage on it because right now the Scottsdale water shortage is happening, and the Scottsdale people are going through what it's going to be becoming. So it's a perfect time to bring it up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So are we nearing adjournment now?
No, not yet. What I wanted to share was for next month, April's meeting, we are going to have the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, Judge Slayton will be doing a presentation on the work that is going on there. Also, City Manager Greg Clifton also wants to invite a contact, I believe from Colorado, to address and share with us information on refurbishment of an old building and how they got that done. And then also city staff through community development. They want to share the Flagstaff's regional plan and have Indigenous input on that. So I just want to let you know on that. That's why these are really, really heavy topics that are going to probably require a lot of time. And so I'm trying to get these 3 in there. But if we can't fit all 3 of them, then I think regional plan might go to May. So we'll see how that all works. It just depends on the time that other people are going to have. That's all I have, and you can now adjourn.
Okay, so this brings us to the completion of the meeting. And do we take a vote on adjournment, or is it just an adjournment? Okay, so we hereby adjourn the meeting at 1:13 p.m. And thank you very much for your attendance and your thoughts, suggestions, and contributions to all these issues that have come up. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Have a
Rose,
great
real
week.
quick, when is our next meeting?
The
Rose.
first Wednesday of April.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.